Welcome folks to another bed haul video. Yeah, another half-assed video I'm doing on my bed because I have a lot of stuff to show and I kind of didn't want to set up in my normal spot to show it all. But anyway, I was in Chicago about a week after, or a week before this video should be going up, maybe a little bit longer. And I got quite a few things, and because I was a lot of places that I wanted to visit. There was a lot of comic book shops and toy stores and secondhand stores, all kinds of fun places that I wanted to check out. And originally I was going to do just like a From the Toy Bin haul video. Unfortunately, I got so many things that I decided to just show it all at once in just one of these videos here. So we got a lot to look at, so let's get started. I think I'm going to start with this that my girlfriend bought me. A Rocko's Modern Life hat. Man, she knows what I like. Yeah, I don't normally wear hats, but now I have a really cool one. I'll put this next to my Gravity Falls hat. And she, like I said, she knows what I like. Alright, so let's see, where shall we go next? I guess I'll show these off. Looked up a lot of comic shops. A lot of comic shops. There we go. And Chicago has quite a few of them. There was one that I really wanted to go to called Alley Cat Comics or something like that. I saw that's the name on like a bunch of like best comic book shops in America lists and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it was very far north, and we unfortunately didn't get to go see it. But I found another place. It's actually a chain apparently, because they have at least 2 locations. It's called Graham Cracker Comics, and what I got there is nothing special, but I guess I should show this off. I got the one-shot Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo comic, very, very big comic. I actually would have read this on the plane, but I had a bunch of other stuff with me. And I got Space Ghost #1, which I didn't know was coming out, and I love Space Ghost, so that's pretty cool to read. Nothing special about that. But we did find a really cool used bookstore. It's here's the bookmark they gave me. Myopic Books. It is about 3 floors and a basement of just used books. So if you're in Chicago and you ever want a really good used bookstore, be sure to look them up right there. I'll give them a free plug on my video. And they had a decent selection of comics and graphic novels, and I got this. Dominion, aka Dominion Tank Police. Well, I think this came first, but there was an anime based on this, and I remember watching it a long time ago. It's a very old school anime, you know, from my era of anime. And I remember really liking it, so I figured I'd pick up one of the books. This is volume 1, I believe. Yeah, book 1 right there. Gonna read that at some point. One thing I do have to say about this place, there's a huge selection of stuff. It's so many things just all over. But the one thing that I found funny was none of the books had a price marked on them. So I went up to the counter. I'm like, hey, how much is this book? And here's the one thing I don't like about that place. They write the price on the pages of the book. I think that's pencil. I could probably get it off, but don't do this. If you have a used bookstore, don't write on the book. Ugh. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's pencil. I could probably just clean that off fairly easily, but it might smudge. Alright, so let's see what else we got here. In addition to a lot of comic book places, there was a lot of used game stores that we went to. The first one we went to was called Play It Retro. I believe it's when we got there, the guy said that they were moving locations. So if you're gonna visit it, you're gonna have to double check the address. But I got a bunch of games from there. Take a look at these. And he was nice enough to give me NES sleeves for him. I got Bump and Jump, or I like this game. It's a kind of a fun, crazy little racing game where you can make your car jump and you can crush other cars. It's not one of the best games around, but it's pretty fun to play. Aaron from Game Grumps actually called this game Bump and Dump once, and ever since then, I like almost always call it that. But yeah, really cool game. I got that. I also got this game that I'm surprised I didn't own. Pinball on the NES. This is one of the black box games, which is the games that came in the boxes that look like this. Pretty good pinball game for NES, so we'll add that to the collection. I also got Mischief Makers for the Nintendo 64. Now, when I first heard about this game back when it came out, everyone I talked to, every review of it was like, it wasn't very good. And I even played it. I rented it once and I tried playing it and I was like, it's not that great. And recently, like, people have been coming out of the woodworks and saying that not only do they love this game, but it's one of their favorite games on the N64. And I'm like, really? So I got a copy now. Maybe I'll play it when I get my gameplay channel off the ground. It's actually pretty close to happening. I've been testing out my capture stuff, so as soon as I get some free time and feel like I want to play some games, I'm going to start recording some stuff. I don't know when I'll get to this, though, because I pretty much have an idea of what I want to play first. But maybe I'll do that at some point. Let's see here. I'll show these off. Our hotel that we were at was near Chinatown, and we actually found a candy store over there. And they had these. These are Super Mario Sports chocolates, I guess. And I think they sound like they have figures or something inside of them. I'm going to do a separate video on these at some point. So we'll just move on from there. Call it a teaser, because you know you're excited for that. Let's see here. We passed by this other store, and I can't remember what the name of it was. It was like this. It was one of those like big crazy stores where they sell, you know, knickknacks and figures, and they have like vintage clothing and just all kinds of crazy stuff. And they had this big like bowl of Pokemon figures, these little plastic Pokemon figures. And I actually got 3 different figures of one of my favorite Pokemon. I got these here. Weavile, one of my favorite Pokemon. I love this little guy. Little demon cat thing who's running away. No, come back here. Yeah, I was actually surprised that there were 3 different ones of this. So that was pretty cool. They were cheap, so I figured, what the heck. They had a bunch of other ones, but I didn't want to load up my bag. And man, I definitely loaded up my bag. And here's some of the more bigger things I got. So we found this other store. It was called The Exchange. It has 2 locations in Chicago, and I really love this store. They have used video games, used DVDs, Blu-rays, CDs, vinyl records, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And it is one of the most well-organized secondhand stores I have ever been in. And the only downside to it is most of their stuff is locked behind a thing, so you have to ask permission before you look at anything, which is unfortunate. But I guess there's a lot of theft around there. A lot of places we went to, we had backpacks, and we had to leave our backpacks at the front before we walked in the store. So I'm guessing it's a bit of a problem over there. But I got a few things from them. First, I'll show you this game I got. Virtual On for the Dreamcast. This is a fun game. I think it's better when you play it in arcades, but you know, it's really cool to have. It's a game where you play as a bunch of mechs and you kind of fight each other, and it's a lot of fun. I think I had it on Xbox Live, but I was really surprised to find a copy for Dreamcast. Kind of want to build my Dreamcast collection. Don't really have a whole lot, but then again, Dreamcast games tend to be a little more sought after and expensive. This one was $18, which I think is a decent price for it. But there we go, got another addition to my Dreamcast collection. And I really wanted to load up on movies and stuff, but again, space was running out. But I did find this, the box set of Bubblegum Crisis, the anime, which is really cool. Very, very underrated anime, Bubblegum Crisis. It's a bit old, so I don't think a lot of people really talk about it anymore, but it was really cool. I found the entire series for $15. Now, there are only 8 episodes, unfortunately. But $15 is actually, I think, a decent price for it. I think I saw this whole set online for like 40 or something. And just, thinking about, back in the day when anime started to first come to the US and they put them on DVD, each one of these DVDs was probably like 20 bucks when they were first bought. And they probably you probably had to pay more for volume 1, which usually came with these like cardboard sleeves where you can put the entire collection in. Anime prices in like the early to mid 2000s was insane. If you want to collect anime DVDs, now's the time to do it, because a lot of people are getting rid of their collection, and there's a lot of cheaper options out there. I know, I think ADV, or what was that? What was that one company right here? I think ADV actually went out of business. Let's see, what is this? This one right here, it's a super amazing value edition. This Devil May Cry. You can get these. They're thin packs. They're the entire series, and they're usually, for a decent price. You can get a lot of these right now. So right now is like the best time to be collecting anime DVDs. It's really cool. I found that. I remember, like I said, one of these was probably like $20 when it first came out, which is ridiculous because they each have 2 episodes. You can probably find the entire series on, a nice thin pack set now. But, the anime prices were crazy back then. I think the most famous case was probably Fooly Cooly. Fooly Cooly is 6 episodes long. They released it in a pack of 3 DVDs. So that's 2 episodes per DVD, and they were full price each. It was insane. It's no wonder people pirated anime. It's because it's just ridiculous. All right, I'll put that aside. Enough of my anime rant. So here's now the best place I found, especially considering this is a toy channel. I'm sure a lot of people out there collect toys. If you visit Chicago, look up a place called Ka-Pow Collectibles, I think it's called. It's this little store. It has weird hours. It's open from like 2:30 to 6:30, which is crazy because we passed by it once and it was closed, so we had to go back another day when it was open. But man, oh man, this place was awesome. They had so many toys, so many vintage toys, like 80s, 90s, just all over the place. The place was tiny too, which is kind of a problem. But there was so much there, and I had visited it much later on in our trip. So space in my suitcase was kind of limited, and funds were starting to dry up, unfortunately. There was so much there I wanted to get, but I couldn't. He also, I asked him about a few things, and unfortunately he didn't have them at the moment. But man, if I ever go back to Chicago, I'm going to this place. So unfortunately I couldn't get anything big from him, but he did have a big old bin of my favorites, the 90s Toy Biz Marvel figures, 4 for $10. So I got a bunch of those. I got Doc Ock. I believe this is from the Spider-Man set. I guess, we can free him from his plastic tomb here, because he's just going to go in the bin with the others. We don't need to keep him wrapped up. Let's have a look at this guy. There he is, Doc Ock. I believe this is from the exclusive Spider-Man liner. Oh, he does something. What does he do? What does he do? Oh, I think... Oh, cool. I think his little arms move. Hang on, let me see if I can get him to do it. Alright, well, I'm sure it was really... okay, there we go. Okay. Yes, there we go. Let's get him in a good position. And, he's gonna grab you. Really cool. From the Spider-Man set, no doubt, but really cool. I don't really have... I have only, I think, the original Doc Ock from the generic Marvel line. And the rest I got here are X-Men. I got some version of Wolverine where he's got knives and he's got these goggles on and something like I have no idea when Wolverine did this. Probably in some comic somewhere. He's got a bent sword. Cool. He does that, which is sweet. He can stab people. He can stab people 3 or 4 different ways with that one hand, because he's also got a knife. Yeah, not too shabby. I also got this other guy here. I'm not sure who this is. It kind of looks like Sabretooth or Cable or somebody. I'm sure it's someone from like X-Force or something like that, or I don't know. All I know is that this guy is covered in blades. Got blades all up his arm. He would make Shredder jealous. Look at all that. He's got axes on his back. He's got 2 knives. Even though I don't know who this guy is, usually when I find a figure that actually has like accessories attached to him, I'll usually get him because you never know. It could be for him, or it could be for someone else that I have, and I can give them a weapon finally. But yeah, he's crazy, he's sharp, and he's from the 90s. So there he is. And I found Jean Grey as the Phoenix. And the reason why I bought this one is because she still lights up after all these years. What year were you from, Jean Grey, as Phoenix? 1995. Wow. It's been over 20 years, and she's still lighting up. That's pretty sweet. Pretty good looking figure too. Like her very much. Okay, so the last thing I want to show, is we also stopped at an arcade. It was called For the Win, FTW. It's right outside of, well, not right outside. It's a few blocks away from Navy Pier, which is where they have like the carnival rides and everything, and the restaurants and everything. It was located in a building where they had all these other cool things. It was an arcade, it was a movie theater, and it was a bowling alley. So it was a really cool hangout place. But we just stopped at the arcade, and here's something I got out of a claw machine. I got a Slimer. A Slimer, which is, oh god, he's looking really creepy on the camera there. Yeah, they had a whole bunch of Ghostbusters stuff in one of the claw machines. They had like Domo-kun dressed as a Ghostbuster, and Domo-kun as Stay Puffed, and a whole bunch of other crazy things. What I find funny about this is they basically just printed Slimer onto this figure, onto the fabric, rather than just constructing him out of other fabric. I guess it's a cheap option. It just looks weird. Just looks like a JPEG of Slimer. I did notice that apparently I guess he had a loop on his head and they just cut it so you couldn't win it so easily. I showed you, I still won it even though you tried to cheat me. Let's see here. 2016 Ghostbusters. So this is clearly Slimer from the reboot. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, in addition to the claw machine, we also played some ticket games, and I got a bunch of things. Did really well with the ticket games, actually, as you're about to see. I got this cool Star Wars cup with all these things on it. Come to the dark side. We have Mountain Dew. So, yeah, I guess this is going to be a new drinking cup for me. Double wall, hot or cold, doesn't sweat. Very nice. So we're gonna be drinking from this now. So got that aside. But because we got so lucky, and we saw some things in there that were pretty cool. They actually had a lot of like Funko Pops, if you're into that. They had a bunch of other figures and stuff in there. A lot of really cool prizes at this place. Very affordable too. But I got particularly lucky, so I won this. It's a Gur. They actually had a Gur as a prize. Let's see here. 2013. So I'm guessing this was like overstock that a place had, and they just dropped them in the arcade. But still pretty cool. Very I don't have like much Invader Zim merchandise, which is really cool. So now I have a Gur. Gur, why is there bacon in the soap? I made it myself. That's my Gur impression. It's probably not good. I was a little worried with this guy though, because he's so big. He's the biggest thing I bought. Oh, I guess the biggest thing I acquired at Chicago. So I was kind of worried he was not gonna fit in my suitcase. I'm amazed I got all of this into my suitcase. I was worried I was gonna have to ship some of this home, but no, I pushed him down and I squeezed him on top of my my dirty clothes, and he worked out very nicely. I slept on the dirty laundry. That sounds like something he would say, actually. So yeah, that is my haul from Chicago. Let's get a good look at Gurr here for the thumbnail. Oh, I love Gurr. I love it. I just love Invader Zim. Can't wait to see the new special that they announced. You know, whenever the hell they're gonna do that. But you know, well, I'll wait as long as they make it good. So anyway, that's my Chicago haul. I'm probably gonna be doing some more videos for this channel real soon. So let me know what you think, and how about a thumbs up for Gurr?